Alright guys, good morning. Today in the afternoon session we have FOMC minutes. Actually, let me check the news. FOMC minutes. There's nothing else today, right? Okay. So I'm expecting a volatility early in the morning. And late in the morning session, I'm expecting a choppy price action. So today should be a rather short stream. I'm planning to wrap it all up by around 11, and I'll be back for the afternoon session for a tape reading, FOMC here. So the game plan for the morning session is we're in a bearish order flow still. We have higher time frame. Pull up hourly chart, higher time frame drawn liquidity, which is this low right there, as it's annotated as higher time frame draw. When I go on the ES chart, we have a little SMT right there. So what I'm expecting is I'm expecting ES to target the sell side almost immediately today. I don't want to see like ES stalling here. I want to see it catching up with Nasdaq. So on ES, we should see a down move right there to the sell side here. And then we'll see. I don't think ES will target this low here, which is Nasdaq's target. So we'll probably see an SMT divergence on the daily chart. Let's go back to Nasdaq. Hourly chart here, 15 minute. So on the 15 minute, we have an SMT divergence at the highs here from yesterday with ES. And then we sold off, created some displacements on this leg. Going to New York Open, what I would like to see is I would like to see this fair value gap holding perfectly and sending this to the south side target. Now here's the two things though. What I would like to be aware of is I want to see, let me pull up ES. Same deal on ES. Preferably, I don't want to see a Judas swing above these highs. Right here. Could happen, but preferably I don't want to see it. I want to see it ripping or selling off right away immediately, early in the morning. Can't join the live. How can I fix that? It's a person who can't join the live. I don't know how Fit set this stage, so I don't know what the issue is here. I should have talked to him yesterday. So what I was saying is, I don't want to see either assets rallying above this buy side here. I want to see it trading below this fair value gap, respecting it and sending it lower immediately for the morning session. And the second thing I want to be aware of is, since we have equal highs here on ES, same deal here, there's a potentially it could rate there, but for that I want to see Nasdaq taking the short-term sell side first, maybe ES stalling there, not taking it, right, and reversing immediately for these highs going into afternoon session. So I want to be aware of what ES is doing, and for the game plan, what I want to do is basically I want to be able to short sell Nasdaq, pyramid 2 contracts, take partial off, one partial here, and then try to leave a runner down into this higher time frame draw on liquidity going into afternoon session. That's the game plan for the morning. That's what I see when I follow the link. Hold on. What about... Okay, you know what I'll do? You should be able to see the channel though. So what I want to say is also, I want to be aware that potential SMT divergence here at this low, because that could also send ES to yesterday's high. Where is it? Actually, it shouldn't go there. It shouldn't really get above this order block here. But in the event of that kind of SMT divergence here, we'll probably see something like, we'll probably see a deeper retracement on ES into range EQ, this order block here. So I want to be aware of that SMT divergence at the lows. Okay, guys, so 3 minutes till market open. Now, because we have FOMC minutes in the afternoon session, you would like to be, I would like to be, be cautious, extra cautious going into trades. You want to be extra patient today, and you shouldn't be trading before FOMC news release, preferably before 2:30, because it will be choppy. You'll probably see price action just like this Asia range, like right here. God, world is ending alarm. Dude, my alarms, I have like 10 of them every 5 minutes because I can't wake up sometimes. Oh, brother, hope you got a good sleep. Good morning, man. Yeah, I had a great sleep. I slept like at 9 p.m. and just woke up. Maybe a Discord limit, platform limit, or Discord may change allow for more people. That's why we switched to stage, actually. Apparently there is a limit in the voice chat. And I see the limit on the stage channel is 150 people, so we should be good about that. I'll probably move the channel down later today. I don't know why Fit set it up all the way up there. Alright, let me go down to My Nasdaq charts. So ES, on the 1 minute, ES has equal highs here. I wonder if it wants to sweep it again. In that case, I want to see Nasdaq stalling in this fair value gap here on the 1 minute. Oh, there you go, market open. It's like I thought, like ES is not going lower, but Nasdaq is going for that short-term sell side immediately. Maybe I should put ES 1 minute down here so you can see it better. I want to mark the equal highs here. It seems like ES will just rally above it. It's tricky open though, because market is not in alignment right now. You see now ES is stalling. Nasdaq is rallying. Now ES is going lower, like. Let's see how it reacts from there. I don't consider this as a Judas, like, to be honest with you. So I really want to see ES going lower here. Nasdaq going lower here. And because the market is not in alignment right now, this is the market conditions you should avoid at the moment. You just wait for it to get them in alignment. Oh, you're below that fair value gap. This should really send it. I want to see ES rallying this low rather quickly, so it could catch up with Nasdaq and fails this fake SMT divergence on the 1 minute chart. Let me check 30 seconds. See if we can get a BPR here. Nope. Going back to volume imbalance. I want I want Nasdaq to respect that volume imbalance here. Let me annotate that volume imbalance. Here, that's the volume imbalance. I want price to stay below it. No entry given on Nasdaq. Yeah. It's because market opened not aligned with each other. So yes, and Nasdaq was not in alignment. That's why it's rather like choppy and huge wicks. That's the condition where you don't want to you don't want to enter any positions. You just wait for them to get in alignment again. Then you gather more information, right, from the price. I really don't want to see any body candle close above this volume imbalance, which is what it's doing at the moment. Let's see how it closes. There you go. Great reaction so far. Just yes and Nasdaq. It's because YM is usually doing its own thing. I should really send it now. It's fucking around above here too much. I'm thinking like yes, it's probably want to sweep that high. That's how it's looking. Once the ES does that, sweeps that high, I think that sets the stage for Nasdaq to go lower. But I still want to see Nasdaq below that volume balance, even if ES sweeps that high, equal highs. Something like this, then go lower, immediately turns, and Nasdaq's stalling here, below it. Now, this is what I was talking about. Now, ES is about to sweep it. Nasdaq is still below the volume balance. I want Nasdaq to keep its price below there. What this basically is telling me that Nasdaq is waiting for ES to make the move. Let's see how that closes. ES is being a little bitch here. Doing what she likes to do. Keeping equal highs. Bullish SMT below them. I think that's a fake SMT. I'm not considering that bullish SMT at lows. I mean, I might be wrong about that, but looking at the higher time frame order flow and narrative, that SMT should short live. I got tricked at SMTs like that a lot of times. Yeah, you gotta have context behind it, backing it up. Right now, like there's nothing backing up that bullish SMT at the lows. If you look at the 15-minute or higher time frames, you see the actual order flow and actual draw is lower. So unless you get a clean raid below that low on Nasdaq, whereas ES is stalling above it, right? Then and only then you can consider that SMT to target these yesterday's high. Not in the internal structure, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, ES did not sweep this high. If it did, that would have been much better. I think it will, though. Now the odds are against Nasdaq. I want to see a quick wick on ES about that high. Nasdaq's still stalling below that volume balance, and once ES takes that high, I want to see sharp downturn. Let's see how this imbalance acts on ES. What is considered sweep? Does it tick above count? Yes, exactly. You would like to see it tick above price trading, one tick above that level. Now here's the thing, guys. On Nasdaq, this fair value gap, I would have considered going short here if ES did what I wanted to see, like sweep that high. Then I would have considered that fair value gap to go short. Now though, it's a risky one. You see, if you look at the 15-minute, you'll see it better. We did not get a Judas swing today. And the reason being is this fair value gap there. Oh, you shorted and closed your position? Huh. Oops. Just stop at break even. Yeah, this is not the market open conditions that you want to be trading in. We did not have an SMT. Okay, with what SMT are you talking about? Are you talking about the bullish SMT or bearish SMT? Because we have both. So we have SMT at these highs here, and then we have SMT at the lows right there. So which one are you talking about? 15-minute fair value gap? Yeah, okay. That's not an SMT though. Let's check the C of this wick. Yeah, we're bonding off the CE of the wick. Yep, yep. I don't think Nasdaq will reverse here though. I think it's going to target the short-term sell side first. And maybe if ES can't catch up with Nasdaq, then we'll have a bullish SMT divergence. Should we follow you on the mini contracts, or it's fine to follow you on micros? That depends on your risk management. Like, yeah, like depends on a couple of things. Like, what account size are you at on, or which asset are you trading, or what is your stop loss? Are you following my stop loss, or are you following your own stop loss? Got to consider all that. And Nasdaq took that low now. I think it respected the CE of the actual mean threshold of the breaker here. So now if ES wants to run for the highs, now is the time. For me though, there was nothing actionable here. It was worth the tape reading, but I would never execute in a price action just like this. Only I would have, only if ES took the equal highs. Now the question is, now that Nasdaq took the short-term sell side, the real question is whether ES can catch up with Nasdaq and raise the sell side or not. That is the real question now. I'm gonna pull ES on the 50 minutes so we can watch that. This is the target I'm talking about. If it fails to do so, then you can look at these highs here as a target potentially. That's because on ES mini it has the equal highs, but not on the micro. Oh, is that's what you asked? I thought like following as if like executing. That's what I thought. Okay, let me take a look at it real quick. If that's the case, I would consider the micros because it has more volume. MES. Take a look. Yeah. Yep. In that case, yeah, you should follow the micro because it has more volume. Let me take a look at the continuous contract. Same deal. Preferably, what I want to see overall is because the higher time frame workflow is bearish, and because I believed Nasdaq is drawn to the daily sell side, I think ES should really catch up with Nasdaq here, so that Nasdaq could run into the drawn liquidity, and that is this low right there. Which is also daily sell side level. The open candle tapped in the highs in a CE of the wick of 15 minutes. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's a great signature. It happens a lot on any time frame. I like to see this happening on daily the most. Because what happens is when daily consolidates, it usually respects that CE, rejects it a couple of times, like 2 times, maybe 3 times, and on the third or the fourth time, it just breaks down. Very great signature. And in a ranging market, you can literally get your bias and the narrative just looking at the CE of wicks or tails on higher time frame, on intermediate term time frame, on any time frame really. Like same thing here, comes up to the CE of that wick 2 times, and the third time rejects and goes lower. Does it mean something? Yeah, it means so. Basically, what it means is when you have this kind of price action rejecting the CE of the wick, every time whenever it touches the CE of the wick, it's a microsecond. So in this case, since I'm on 1 minute, it means on microsecond time frames, that's a manipulation, right? And it's rejecting. That rejection tells me that Nasdaq is she wants to go lower, right? That's just a signature indication of what price wants to do. Because if it's really bearish here, it shouldn't violate the C of the wick. So that's the most it could go on the buy side of the curve. Currently in a weekly volume balance. Yes. I believe weekly volume imbalance on Nasdaq is not going to be significant. I think Nasdaq will just disrespect that volume balance and keeps going lower. However, on ES, I think it's going to be respected. How would you interpret whether to expect a turtle soup reversal here on Nasdaq versus the narrative going lower? I would look for SMT divergences for turtle soups. For example, okay, let me just pull up the micro chart on ES here. I'll tell you what I mean. So if you look at ES here, it's just for an example. Now that you know the draw on liquidity will be the sell side on Nasdaq, right? Nasdaq is stalling below that volume balance. So we have an SMT divergence here. ES rallying above these highs is your turtle soup. You can anticipate that by just looking at intermarket, by just doing intermarket analysis. Same deal on the 15-minute here. I mean, I would not turtle soup this because higher time frame draw is lower in my opinion. So in a bearish order flow, you don't want to turtle soup the sell sides. You want to turtle soup the buy sides rather. Now the sell side was taken. Can we consider that highs at C as easy target? Hold on. If you're talking about this C, now you're on the 1 minute. You can consider that because, hold on, let me draw it for you. So this is engineered liquidity, right? Those taps. This is your buy side or easy target. Now, whenever you have this kind of price action, what you can expect is price either going to seek sell side first, right? In this case, here's your sell side on this time frame specifically, or it's going to trace back into discount and then rally for target this high, right? That's how you can internalize the C of the wick or engineered liquidity. It's happening on 1 minute. I'm not looking for any longs, guys, honestly. I don't want to long this higher time frame bearish order flow. Even if it intraday it gives like 60, 70 handles on Nasdaq, I couldn't care less. You can scalp it, but alright, let's see what silver bullet does for us today. So we have let me get this way. Zoom in. So ES left, equal lows there. Even on micros, I believe. Oh no. So we have a breaker block there on Nasdaq 1 minute chart. If it wants to rally into this buy side here, the opening range high, should really respect this area. I don't see it as a high probability breaker though, just because the draw liquidity is lower. And these lows are way too suspicious on ES. It could really go down there and rally that low. Alright, 10 p.m. 10 a.m. candle open just now. There's a 5 minute fair value gap here, which is why price is stuck right now. And there's this order block on the hourly chart here, this level. Yeah, I mean, even if it does a run higher, I wouldn't be a buyer here. I wouldn't like to be a buyer here. I want to see ES completing this sell model first. So this low should act as a draw on liquidity on ES. I want to see that first before buying anything, before going long. And what will happen is, if ES can rate that low, it'll consolidate a little bit below it, right? Consolidate a little bit below it, spend time with below that level, and then make a reversal or a continuation, or a retracement and a continuation. Where's that high here? Alright, ES finally took equal highs. Right there. We're potentially looking at this high here on Nasdaq act as a drawn liquidity right now, short term. Right here. There's also a fair value gap right above it. The gold line here is a 15-minute fair value gap. And this is our consolidation. Here also will be targeted. Here. Hey, good morning, brother. How you doing? Yeah, I don't know. In this market right now, the longs are always suspicious. It's gonna short live, you know. Hourly? Let me see. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Easy target is gone. I'm gonna delete these annotations there and delete this as well. All right. I was looking at 5 minutes, I think. Yeah, okay. So I wanna see this high on the buy side of the curve act as a draw on liquidity. Same thing on ES. I don't know if it could go yesterday's highs, but I think the higher probability to draw on liquidity on ES would be here. That consolidation. This one right there on the 5 minute. Oh, someone pointed out something so good today. I think you missed that, Fabio. So sometimes on ES or like in futures, when it comes to like liquidity sweeps, micros does the job and minis don't do it. It's a great point. It's because micros have more volume. So in this case, what we had here, if you pull up your ES chart on the 1 minute, you look at, so what happened was there's a 930, right? Like the opening range left equal highs on ES, but on the micros, this was rated. Same thing on the lows here. This left equal lows. On the micros, this is a higher low comparing to this level. Yep. I remember that happening to me for the first time when I was live trading. I was in micros, but looking at minis. I got stopped out. I'm like, what? It didn't even go there. I'm like, what's going on? It was bad. I felt really bad. Because like losing real money versus losing your sim account, totally different two things. Yeah, 5 minute breaker there. Here. So this 5 minute candle, if it respects it and closes like a down close candle, I would anticipate a potential fair value gap here as a breakaway gap. Check yes on the 5. That is a bad rejection. Thanks for the answer. You're welcome. Thanks for your question. You guys are killing with the questions, guys. I love it. Easy target tagged, exactly. Do you ever use? So you can actually sculpt the market by just looking at that engineered liquidity theory on any time frame, really. Do you ever use RTH levels as draw? No, I don't look at RTH. Wouldn't this fair value gap hold be a good entry since there was a change of structure and push through break block? I mean, I'm quite late for that answer, but I would say no, just because we're still in the bearish order flow. Like, whenever I see bullish structure shifts on the lower time frames, right? I'm just reminding myself internally the 60-minute look, for example, here. Why would I be want to be a buyer on the 1 minute sentiment changes here when I know that 60-minute will go lower? On the 4 hourly, trading view is lagging. So on the 4 hourly, it's even cleaner because so this is the draw on liquidity I want to see. Look at this fair value gap. It's respecting, and now we have an order blocks here, right? Why would I want to be a buyer there? You know, we might get a okay, might get a like deeper retracement using this fair value gap, but you know, I don't think it's worth the risk to be a buyer because the C also failed. We have SMT there, yeah, but in my opinion, not worth the risk. Let me check the C. Yes, 4 hourly. Yeah, same deal. Price is basically stuck there. Let me go back to Nasdaq 1 minute. As long as this fair value gap on the 15 minute is respected, there's no reason to be a buyer here. Check the stealing range on the 1 minute also. So the fair value gap I was talking about, if price is drawn into this high here buy side, the fair value gap I was talking about is this one. We could be just wicking there and then keep going lower. Basically, I'm not gonna delete that. I'm gonna keep it as a golden zone, which refers to IFUD fair value gap, right? I could expect an IFUD into there and continuation lower. And this is the accumulation. So something like this and then go lower. If we create an order block on the 1 minute here, maybe a good short we over disrespected two push fair value gaps. Yep. I mean, you gotta see how it reacts from the EQ of this range on the 1 minute. So the upper fair value gaps, both of them, this one and that one, it's not a long entry. On BPRs, maybe like this one should be sensitive. Yes, I would look for the lower fair value gap there. No SMT there at the lows. Is that equal? Equal lows, yeah. See where we're at. Is that EQ of the range? Yeah, it's EQ of the range. Delete this. So that's the last discount fair value up on the 1 minute. All right, there. We have equal lows here. I don't think it'll sweep the lows though. I think it's gonna leave it. Just because looking at ES, you could consider that as an SMT divergence, making a lower low here on ES is not making a lower low. So you can consider the equal lows as a SMT instead of target under those circumstances. ES is definitely stronger today comparing to Nasdaq. Let me just mark this out. So draw liquidity. So this whole price action might be just setting up for a 5 minute buy market maker buy model, and depends on how we trade into this original consolidation. It might target the equal highs here, but for me, the actual drawn liquidity is here. This is the high probability liquidity level comparing to these highs here. So you gotta be trading that level step by step, right? You want to be taking partials at this high for sure. It could just stall here above it without taking the actual clean highs and then keeps going lower. So I would expect something like drawn liquidity is taken, consolidate a little bit above, may or may not take this high, and then keep going lower. They should really send this price above that consolidation, both on ES and Nasdaq before 11:30, and then consolidate above it through the FOMC. You see, I mean, look at those wicks on the 5-minute. It's just like, you gotta be extra cautious today, that's for sure. Back in discount again. Swept out equal lows. If it wants to make the run, it should really hold this level. I want to see ES violating this high with the new 5-minute candle so that the consecutive down close candles confirms as an order block. Same thing on Nasdaq. I'm watching the 5-minute chart simultaneously because we have the market maker model on that time frame. So I'm making myself familiar with the PD arrays on 5. Now, if this was another day, not an FLMC day, I probably would have longed that this discount fair value gap tap, and probably would have put my stop loss below here. So it will look something like this from there to there. Stop loss about like 12.50, which is here, something like that. If this was not FOMC, because this should really be the last tap into discount area, unless it wants to go lower, obviously. Right now it's just choppy though on the equilibrium of the 5 minute range. It's just like wicks above and below. And in these market conditions, you don't want to be in a position. The general rule of thumb for me is, say you spotted the market maker model, you didn't enter, and price is at equilibrium, right? On the relative time frame, what you can do for me personally, the general rule of thumb is if three candles in this case actually, three candle ranges like this on the relative time frame, I wouldn't consider entering because that means it's choppy, right? And I want to avoid those conditions. So isn't discount at 17,487 from high to low? Isn't it 10.02 the discount fair value gap? I'm looking at the 5 minute market maker buy model range. But I see what you're saying. You're saying like from this side of that low, right? That's the short term range. I marked it as a discount FVG by looking at the intermediate term range, the market maker buy model range. And that's because on the 5 minute, I really didn't want to see price getting down here. I want to see this area holding the price above. Yeah, already disrespected. Yeah. And there's nothing actionable anyways. So as long as you follow your rules, right, you're not gonna be in these kind of positions or with the wrong in the wrong side of the market because your setup will not be there. You know what I mean? Or it's gonna be a FMC day just like today, and you're just gonna avoid it. when it's there, you know. So to me, on ES, it looks like, depends on this candle close, looks like this whole consolidation is trap traders, trap longs, and it shouldn't go back up there anymore. Here, this high buy side shouldn't be traded into anymore in ES. It's because now this fair value gap is collapsed, right? It failed. Now it should really send it to lower pricing on ES. We have a breakaway gap. Let me just delete all that stuff. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna tape read on the Nasdaq. So we have this order block here. That means this fair value gap should be a breakaway gap. Which rule will you give us to be followed to be on the side on our narrative to bias? The thing is, you gotta follow the higher time frame order flow, right? You'll always see, just like yesterday, 1 minute or like 5 minute market maker models against that order flow, which are essentially the pullbacks, right? And preferably, like personally, I don't like to trade the pullbacks. I like to wait for the market maker models in the direction of the higher time frame order flow, in the direction of the higher time frame of the higher time frame bias, right? Those are the trades that I would like to be in, because those are the trades I know they'll be low resistance liquidity run. If you remember from yesterday's stream in the PM session, there was this 1 minute market maker buy model, which was essentially the pullback, and it was a low resistance liquidity run. I'm sorry, high resistance liquidity run, right? I got in, got stopped at break even one first time, second time got stopped for a loss, right? That's why I would like to avoid it. And you should do the same thing. Or for another thing you could do, if you're against the order flow, if you're trading the pullback, you could just reduce your risk. Say you're normally risking 0.5%, right? You can cut it in half and risk 0.25%, you know, if you really want to trade the pullback. See how this fair value gap reacts. Now that ES trapped the longs, I really want to see it expanding lower and taking the sell side here, catching up with Nasdaq. And Nasdaq, on the other hand, shouldn't really trade back into this fair value gap above the order block. Now we have a new sell side here. Let's see if we can trade down there. also look at this range here again. Now ES should really send it. Shouldn't come back up again. Trading into EQ of the range one more time. It should really send it lower. This is the range, implied range. The equilibrium. It's about there, here. The upper portion of this fair value gap is in premium. We have the IOFED fair value gap above. Now it should confirm the up close candles here as a new order block in the order flow. And rally below these lows first, and then I really want to see it going down here. Now, if Nasdaq trades into that breakaway gap, the direction, the bearish bias is still viable, but that means if it gets in here, it's indicating weakness in the down move. Basically, that's how I'm reading the breakaway gaps. Because for a continuation lower, it shouldn't really get back. It shouldn't have. It should leave it open for more strength. Now, not ES, on the other hand, right now, tapping into 5-minute BPR here. IFED, one more time. This should be the catalyst for the down move. Check the mean threshold of the hour clock. Not the best, not the cleanest. Now I really don't want to see Nasdaq going back above that mean threshold of the order block again. I want to see Nasdaq using the order block low open price, which is annotated here, this level. Use it as a catalyst. So if I were to trade this, My stop loss would be above this order block here, and same thing on Nasdaq, on ES. If I was to short this, I would put my stop loss above that order block. Would you guys rather be trading these kind of price action or not? Or do you feel impulsive on these days when price moves like not respecting any PD array on either side of the curve? What do you guys usually do? There's less to do. Yeah, there's not much to do. I agree. Get chopped up. What gets you chopped up though? Like what gives you the trigger to pull the push the buttons? Just tape read. Yep. I get FOMO because I'm new. I had the same problem when I was just starting trading. Like if this was like 3 4 years ago, what I would have done is like, oh my god, we have a displacement here, energetic. I'm not even aware of higher time frame or intermediate time frame, right? Back then, I would be like, oh my god, fair value gap, I should long this. Same thing here. Oh my god, fair value gap, I should short this. You know, no context, no nothing behind backing the idea up. I get chopped, obviously. Sometimes I made money, sometimes I lost, but I definitely not as profitable. To feel impulsive sometimes, days like this feels like there is no clean plays. So my mind tries to look for plays that are there. What you should do in those cases is, let's say you decided to go short, right? Before entering any position, just ask yourself, just think as if you want to go long, right? Say like, why would I go long? If you can answer those questions, why would I go long? What's the buy side target? Can it go there? What are the odds of market rating the buy side, right? Before going short. That'll make you avoid the chop or bad trade and stuff like that. You gotta internalize, you gotta think from both sides of the market, right? If that makes sense. And in the first place, it's not easy task to do because market moves so quick, especially if you're trading Nasdaq. And if you're operating on the 1 minute, it gets overwhelming as a beginner. But over time, I promise you guys, if you put in the work, keep showing up, doing your back testing sessions or live trading, tape reading, all that, it adds up over time. Like personally for me, today, looking at this price action, there was nothing actionable on it. So initially I anticipated the short sell here, right? There was a sell side target here, but I didn't get the price action I wanted to. So no executions. Same thing on the buy side. We got the rally here. It was not the cleanest one because it didn't have a meaningful SMT. The order flow on the higher time is bearish, so I'm already like suspicious about the buy side moves, and there was nothing actionable here. So it left the equal highs, equal lows here. I mentioned like it really needs to rally up above this buy side because that creates a 5 minute order block rather. It shouldn't come back down here again And it did, so nothing actionable there, you know. Same thing here. The price action is slightly better, like slightly cleaner comparing to here. However, it's still like too back and forth action, too much back and forth action. I don't want to be in these kind of trades, you know. I want to be in like fast moves, in and out, delivers quickly, one-sided delivery, you know. After the sell side rave seems to be nothing tangible, so in that case, do we still consider 11 to 12 p.m. for engagement? Well, today's an unusual day, so you shouldn't take today as your general example. It's because we have FMC minutes in the afternoon session. So no, you shouldn't be focusing on specifically talking about today though. You shouldn't be focusing on 11 to 12. You should be focusing on any time after 2:30. But if on a regular day, um, if you get a price action like this, I would still be focusing on the silver bullet because the morning's actually morning delivered. Yeah, morning delivered. I would focus on 11 to 12. Yeah, I would focus on outside the silver bullet time window, which is outside of 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and for the afternoon session outside of 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Oh, we have a little SMT there. That's ugly. Not confirmed yet, though. But we'll see. Yes, because if you look at here, I'm gonna pull out 15-minute for the target. So Nasdaq was drawn into the south side, right? And the delivery happened at 9:47 a.m., meaning it happened before the silver bullet window. On days like this, when the delivery happens in the opening range, New York opening range, that means for that day you should be focusing outside the silver bullet, trading outside the silver bullet, because that's when you'll get the volatility. And the silver bullet time window is for morning session. So hold on. Silver bullet times, right? Morning session is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Afternoon session is 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. On days like this, you should be focusing on trading outside these times. But since today is FOMC, this is not viable for today. But this is just generally speaking. Returning the 5-minute fair value gap, 3 drive pattern on ES. May go take the equal low and take a look at it. I mean, for that, it needs to go above the trap longs first. And I don't think that's going to happen. We don't have a 3 drive yet on the buy side. Or do we? 1 second. Let's zoom in a little bit. Did it take this high? No, it didn't. I mean, on micros, yeah, we have the 3 drive. On minis, we don't. So I would consider that as a 3 drive. Yeah, I agree with you. What do you think about? Can we read it like this? Let me take a look at it. What time frame is this? 1 minute? Oh, hold on. I know what time frame it is. 15-minute. So you annotated SMT divergence here, which is right, and then buy side liquidity rate here. Yes, easy target. Um, Yeah, yep, you could annotate this as a easy target just because it rejected the C of the wick here, then came back up for the buy side liquidity and it's taken. Now it should really take that low first before making any moves, which is, yeah, it's low. We take a look at the C of this one, and it's the same level. Adds confluence. Nasdaq is still respecting the mean threshold of that overclock. Yes, is also still trading below the OB, just this level. Oh, there's a rejection block there also. Here, there's a rejection block. Coming back up for that rejection block one more time is just, it's ugly. But it also makes sense because market printed bullish SMT divergence at the lows, which should really short-live. But with the rejection block mitigation, I think it should, I would consider that as a objective completed. Objective of the bullish SMT divergence at the lows. And again, if you look at the 5-minute again here, it's in consolidation, it's ranging, printed 1, 2, 3 candles in a range. That's the condition you don't want to be in. If you're already in a position, this is where I would collapse my trade whenever I see this, regardless of being in profit or not. I'm gonna wrap it up here in 5 minutes, guys, and I'll be back for the afternoon session. Most likely it's gonna be tape reading because FOMC minutes is rather not as volatile as FOMC itself, but I'll be tape reading, and I'll be back in probably like 2:15 p.m. in the afternoon. I want to see price moving away from this range before I wrap it up. Either upside or downside, doesn't really matter. I think it's going to be downside, but let's see. Let me take a look at CL real quick, crude oil, because someone's trading crude oil right now. The chat. I don't know if you're still in it. Let's take a look at it. Soft Cell. Soft Cell was trading that crude oil. Let's see. I'm really bullish on crude oil, to be honest with you. I know you're short, but like I'm talking midterm, the weekly and the daily. I really want to see these highs getting targeted. Fair value up there. Now it's trading the order block. I would be really cautious here. It's trading into the daily order block here. And got a reaction from the CE? No, not really. It's just in a range bound here. Just a little BPR there. Reacted perfect. I personally really don't like trading crude oil. It's just like too much back and forth and too much high resistance liquidity run happening on crude. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be the target for this week or even today. So soft sell, if you're listening me, if you're in the chat right now, I would be cautious with that short position. Oh, we're still in a range. Alright guys, there's literally nothing much to mention here. No PD arrays. Like I can't even tape read this price action. So there's nothing. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I'll see you guys at 2:15 before FMC. Take care.